Welcome back to this special edition of the Generals Baseball Show. My name is Ethan Duer, and I am joined by AAA relief pitcher I guess in general, for the AAA affiliate of the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Reno Aces, Ryan Weiss. How are you doing, Ryan? Good to see you, man.
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, I just want to make sure I have everything right on you. I think I do. From South Elgin, Illinois, a Wright State college grad. You were drafted in the fourth round, 129th overall by the Diamondbacks in 2018. But this year, would you say it has been the best year for your career so far?
I mean, I feel like I'd say that every year. Like in 2018, when I was about to get drafted, it was the best one, and then in 2019, I was in pro ball. So I mean, I feel like it's just an evolution. I mean, I'm happy to be where I am right now. I mean, these guys are great, so I'm just trying to enjoy the ride.
Awesome, man. Yeah, well, this year you've made the jump from AA to AAA. You posted a 2-2 record with a 4.31 ERA across 48 innings. You've given up 23 earned runs, 33 hits, but struck out 50 and only walked 16. So before we get into all that, though, I want to ask you, at what point growing up did you realize that you want to be a professional baseball player? Walk me through growing up in Illinois and how that kind of journey became, something for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was never – I mean, as bad as it sounds, it was never really a dream of mine to, be a professional baseball player because I really wasn't that good in high school.
Yeah.
So – I mean, I played varsity on when I was a junior and senior, kind of how everyone does. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it was I caught for my first couple of years in high school, and then I didn't start pitching until my junior year. And so at that point, I was throwing the 80s, wasn't nothing crazy. And so then once I made kind of a jump my senior year, I went from about 84 to 89 in off season. So that was a pretty drastic jump at that point in my career. And so I was like, okay, this pitching thing might be this could be something good. And so yeah, I mean, I tried to work my butt off, and then had a good summer, and then was able to go to Wright State. So it was, even at Wright State, I was just happy to be playing at the D1 level. And so the pro ball dream, it was a couple of my buddies were. It was June of 2016 at the time, and a couple of them got drafted, and they had an Instagram post on obviously on Instagram, and I was kind of talking to my mom, oh, that'd be pretty cool to have your picture up there getting drafted. That'd be pretty cool. And then a couple of years later, it ended up happening. But yeah, it was never really when I was young, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? I just wanted to have fun with my buddies and play the game. So
awesome. Well, that's a great segue. Ryan, a couple more questions about that. How did you make the decision to go to Wright State, and what was that college decision like? Because, it's funny how it seems one other prospect I talked to, it's you don't think you're even going to play in college, and all of a sudden you're playing in the minor leagues at a high level. It seems kind of like that way
right.
for you, I guess. Just tell me a little bit, how was the process of deciding to play at Wright State?
Yeah, so at the time, I had said no to a decent amount of schools, nothing crazy. I mean, I was getting some offers here and there, but it wasn't I was getting offered by every ACC and SEC school. It wasn't anything like that. So it was kind of from the teams that were local, the schools that were local. And then so finally I was pitching at a game in Indiana at Butler University.
Okay.
And I took a no-hitter in the seventh inning, and then I ended up giving it up. But I guess the coach from Wright State was there, one of the coaches there. He was the recruiting coordinator there at the time. And he just kind of came up to me after the game, and he was like, hey, my name is Jeff Mercer from Wright State. And I was like, from where? Wright State? Who's that? And then hopped on the phone with him. And then the next day I went on a visit. They offered me that day. And then a week and a half later, I committed. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was something that I wasn't expecting, I think, which is why it made it so much nicer.
Awesome, man. That's incredible. You're pretty decorated in terms of your college career. I mean, obviously, I think what overshadows that is being drafted and now being in AAA. But when you were at Wright, I mean, I think you were rookie of the freshman of the year in the conference,
yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you made a pretty big start against Stanford as well. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, Stanford, I didn't really do that well. I wish I could have that start back. I mean, I gave the team a chance to win. It was a long game. I mean, I think it was on ESPN2 or something, so it was nationally televised.
All those games are super long, at the end.
I know. Everything on the West Coast feels like it's an eternity. But, yeah, so it was a long game. I think it was a 13-inning game or something crazy. And, I mean, I did all right. I gave up a couple runs. I definitely could have given up more runs. But then one of my buddies, Jeremy Randolph, he was in pro ball for a little bit. He came in and he showed. He should have gotten drafted that day. He did really well. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome, man. Well, Ryan, I do want to touch on a little bit. You've had a lot of adversity in your personal life, growing up. And I saw your website, your big slogan is, rising above adversity. Can you tell me a little bit about, not only that personal journey for yourself, but in the fact of, applying that to your ability to go out and play baseball and try to strive and make it to the highest level of play, man?
Yeah, I mean, throughout my life, it's just been kind of something's happened, and I just had to kind of react and figure it out. And so, I mean, baseball is like that too. I mean, you're never going to have your A+ stuff. I mean, the organization's going to make moves based on business decisions, and you have to understand that when you're in the game. And so, I mean, I just think it's when something has happened to me, it's just kind of like I don't try to play the victim role. It's like I don't say, "Oh, why is this happening to me?" It's like because there's always something worse going on in someone else's life. No matter what the worst thing is in your life, that's probably not the worst thing ever. And so I'm trying to understand that and come to terms with that and be able to understand what's really going on in your own life can kind of give you an idea and then kind of give you some comfort. And then you can, in a rational way, understand how to move forward.
Absolutely, man. Well, before we jump into your time with the Diamondbacks organization, being that I am a college summer league broadcaster, I do want to ask you about your experience in the Cape Cod League because selected to an all-star up there, right?
Yep.
What was that experience like playing up at the Cape, man?
Oh, that was sick. That was one of the best summers of my life by far. The Cape is just, as a player, if someone else has played in the Cape and you're on the same team with them, if somehow you start talking about, like the Cape, or like talk about some restaurants, or whatever it is that gets brought up, everyone that has played there will just start talking. It's amazing. It's everyone. It has a soft spot in every guy's heart. Like it was so much fun. It was so cool.
It's like a fraternity.
Yeah, it was awesome.
All right, so Ryan, you get drafted in 2018. You have a pretty nice signing bonus. In 2019, you make the jump from low A to high A, which must have been a pretty big accomplishment at the time. You were named Organizational Player of the Month in July. I would love to know a little bit about that. But, when you think back of 2019, how has that year in itself taken you to the point you're at today in 2021?
Yeah, I mean, in 2019, obviously it was a couple of years ago now. I mean, in some regard, 3 seasons ago. And so it allowed me to learn a lot about myself, knowing that, like, okay, the pitcher that I am now is completely different than the pitcher I was then. And that's a good thing because that's where you're in the minor leagues and it's all about development. I mean, obviously it's about making it to the big leagues as fast as you can, but I mean, in order to do that, you have to develop. And so, I mean, it allowed me to do that. I had spent most of the year in low A, and then I got caught up at the end of the year. But when I was in high A, I kind of had like a little bit of an epiphany. I was like, okay, I don't think my stuff right now is going to play in the big leagues. And it was like right when I got promoted. It was a weird, like I said, weird feeling, but I was like, I don't think it's going to play in the big leagues. So I'm like, I need to make an adjustment. I need to make a change, and I did. And that's part of the change that I made in off season of 2019, and then during COVID, and I'm starting to see the fruits of my hard work from back then.
Ryan, that's kind of a great segue, man, because I'm not sure I feel like you will have a good stance on this, but, do you feel lucky in a sense that you were drafted before the pandemic hit and that you kind of had your minor league position figured out before this pandemic struck?
Yeah, I mean, I'm blessed in a lot of different ways. That was definitely one of them. I mean, God's got a plan. I mean, I don't know what his plan for me is. I'm just trying to roll with it, whatever it may be that day. Like, understand that that's what he has planned for me in advance. So it's not about what I want, really. And so when COVID hit, it was just kind of a realization, okay, like, put your own thoughts and your own feelings on the back burner. Like, there's something else going on here. And so for me to be able to put myself, be able to selfishly put myself aside and then be selfless for, like, my fiance and for what we were kind of going through as a couple in a good way, just kind of growing and whatnot. And then it obviously allowed me to go play baseball and grow and just develop on my own because of a missed season. If you don't develop at all, if you're the same player as you were when you left, like, the organization is not going to like that because you had almost 2 off seasons to work. And so that's what I try to do with my time. I just try to develop, and I try to get to be as good as I could be. So.
Ryan, tell me a little bit about your, I guess your workout plan or your regiment. What kind of training do you do, whether that be in the off season or in season?
Yeah, I mean, I love working out. So I'm like, I'm a big workout guy. Like if now that I'm in the bullpen, like I feel like I can work out even more because I have no idea when I'm going to throw.
Nice.
So, and then especially in the off season, like I love working out. I love playing pickleball. That's something my fiance and I picked up during COVID, but yeah, it's been great. I mean, I still play that during the season. It's just a lot of fun. It gives you like an element of escape from the field. And so it's been
Nice.
Pretty good.
Ryan, I'm a long distance runner guy. I was cross country in high school. And,
yeah, that's not me.
I love it, man. I can go out and just hit the roads for 7, 8, 9 miles. I love it, but
Yeah, that's definitely not me. I'm gonna leave that to you.
All right, awesome. My girlfriend though, what she got me into is the Peloton bike.
Yeah,
those workouts are legit, man. Those are good ones. All right, Ryan. So now on to this year, man. Well, first off, congrats initially on your success this season. I mean, making the jump from AA to AAA, and that promotion came just about maybe a little bit about a month ago, right? Before we get to that promotion, though, I want to, ask, you were invited to spring training this year, which is obviously must have been a huge deal. You got some time on the mound in the big league spring training camp. What was that experience like? And can you tell me, what really stood out to you in terms of, did you get to work with any of the guys that, people would know in the big leagues right now? And what was that experience like?
Yeah, no, I wasn't invited to big league camp this year. That's definitely something I want to go to next year. But
how could I have confused that? Maybe because it was the extended spring training, maybe.
Who knows? I mean, with how the spring training has been, I mean, I don't blame you. It was with how weird it was with COVID and everything. They had their spring training in like February/March, and we were in April, so we were like a whole month later. Like so.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, no, I mean,
you're right.
Spring, but being able to be in spring training again though, that was fun because obviously that's something we missed in 2020. So it was just good to be back with the guys and have a jersey on again. So I was loving it.
So kind of in that same realm, Ryan, have you worked with anyone within the Diamondbacks organization that are at the pro level right now or the major league level right now?
Yeah, I mean, we have a bunch of guys on our team that have big league time. There's probably around at least 10 guys on my team right now that have played in the big leagues at some point. So it's pretty cool talking to them and being like, if they made their debut or whatever, just saying, hey, like, what was your debut like? Like that's, I mean, obviously I would love to have my debut. So just kind of being able to hear it through them and whatnot, and it makes everyone feel like a kid because they're just so happy. So
nice, man. Well, Ryan, let me know from your perspective, what have you made of this minor league season overall for yourself?
Yeah, again, it's just been a lot of growing, a lot of learning. Because before this season, I had never pitched in AA, and so just being able to break camp with AA was, I mean, that's what my goal was during COVID and all that. Obviously, I wanted to go to big league camp, but when that didn't happen, I knew it was in my control, and so, like I said, I only pitched in high A for like a month and a half, in 2019. So I knew I had to make a statement in spring training to allow myself to get to AA. And so once I did that, I just wanted to have as much fun and just play with the guys and just be back and like have a season, right? And just have fun with it and just play and be a kid. And so it was good. And then I had a good couple months and then was able to come up here. But yeah, it's just, I don't want it to stop anytime soon. It's been a lot of fun.
Nice, man. Well, I saw that you were making starts in AA. What has it been like to transition to more of a bullpen role? And are you hoping to get in a starter slot before the season ends?
Yeah, I'm at the beginning of the year, like, because in spring training I was a reliever, and then right before the season started, they said, "Hey, we want you to start game 3." I said, "Okay, just basically give me the ball and I'll pitch." But yeah, I mean, being able to start was great. Started for like a month and a half in AA, and I was a reliever for 2 weeks there before I got called up. So I mean, I've only been a reliever now for like a month and a half. So it's still something I'm getting used to. There's still just a ton to learn. I mean, baseball is one of those games where no matter if you've been in the league for 10 years or not, you're still going to learn something new. So just understanding that baseball owes me absolutely nothing. So just trying to respect the game and learn as much as I can is what I'm trying to do.
I saw a great quote once. It's like baseball doesn't care about your emotions. As fans, we get so invested, and it's like the baseball itself does not
Mhm.
care.
Yeah.
Brian, let me ask you, man. Do you ever get, nudge, nudge, you might be getting the call soon, or is that something that you don't find out about until?
No, I mean, that's something that, like, a lot of guys can talk about, like, oh, when they could get called up or whatever. But I try to stay away from that because it's like, if I were to start thinking about that,
Yeah.
then I know I'm not present, and that's not what I'm about. Because I don't want to wish for something that may never happen. You know what I mean? Because big league making your debut is never guaranteed, and even pitching in AAA is something a lot of people would dream of. And so, just trying to enjoy where I'm at and just constantly just be a sponge when the older guys are giving advice and stuff like that. That's what I'm really trying to focus on.
Awesome. Well, Ryan, I got two more questions for you, man. So it seems like you are doing a great job of growing the game, especially for someone who is, a AAA pitcher now. You have a pretty strong following on Instagram, Twitter. The reason I actually even found your name in at all was because of your TikTok page. Tell me a little bit about how you're utilizing your website and social media, your merchandise to I guess as they're trying to say, grow the game.
Yeah, I mean, understanding that, like, I do have a really powerful story, and so I want to share that with people because I know there's a lot of people out there that probably won't ask for help. So just being able to kind of be one of the guys that can offer that help to them, and just kind of share, like, what a life like this is like, what it's like, because a lot of people have no idea what a minor league lifestyle is like, or even a professional athlete lifestyle is like, because baseball is different than basketball, and which is different than football. And so I'm just trying to just kind of share that with people because, like I said, I owe the game, or the game owes me absolutely nothing. Like, I owe the game everything. It's given me so many things in my life, and without that, I wouldn't be where I am. So understanding that it's all about giving back and trying to just help people and just have fun with it. I mean, that's where social media can be great. You can have fun with it. You can be yourself, and you can help people. So.
Ryan, I thought of one more question I want to sneak in before my last one. I forgot to ask you, growing up or even now today, what are some pitchers that you admire?
All of them. I mean, they're all, like, everyone's got something that you can take from them. I mean, people ask me, like, oh, what's your favorite pitcher? Like, I don't even know.
Right.
I really don't watch the big leagues that much because I don't really want to watch people do my job better than me.
Yeah,
exactly. And so, there's a lot of guys that are fun to watch. I mean, everyone has got good stuff. Like, you look at Scherzer, Garrett Cole, like, just all these guys, like, they have all their pitches are nasty. So it's like just trying to be as much like them as you can and just be as consistent as you can. And then hopefully one day I could play against them or play with them. Like, that'd be pretty cool. But other than that, just trying to have fun.
My last question for you, man, I love to end on like an overall note. Obviously the goal in front of you is to be president, maybe make that jump to the show. But with that, what do you think you take personally to mentally and physically get there for yourself? And, as you assess getting to that goal, how do you take in every day and just enjoy the game from a big sense?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I just try to treat every day like it's a new one. Like today we had a game last night, but it's like no one. That's the cool thing about baseball. It's cool, but it kind of does stink at the same time. Is like no one cares what you did yesterday. Like in football, if someone makes a crazy catch, like people are talking about it for a week because you don't have a game the next day. In baseball, if you have a good outing, it's like, okay, you might throw today too, so it's on to the next one. So you have to have very short-term memory, whether you do good or bad, because baseball can turn in an instant, and it can be great. So it's definitely a double-edged sword. So that's where baseball is a complete mental game. So just trying to just stay the course and just be as even keeled as I can, because if I'm too up when I'm doing well, like I don't want to be that guy in the clubhouse that like everybody, like if you walked in the clubhouse, be like, oh, how did he do yesterday? And you're like, oh, he went 3 innings with no runs and like 10 punch outs or whatever. Obviously, like it would only be 9, but or if he gave up like 10 runs, like I want them to come in and be like, he probably did good the day before, regardless of how I did, because I just want to have a positive attitude pretty much the whole time.
Well, Ryan Weiss, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. My first AAA interview, coming to a big league mound near you sometime soon. Thanks, Ryan.
Appreciate it.